Hey, welcome to the Insurance Buzz. This is your host, Michael and Courtney Weaver. We have a special guest with us today, Miss Martina Brungnoni. Martina, how are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Good. We have been practicing saying your last name, and why we were laughing is because I'm like, it's Brungnoni, Brungnoni.
You got it.
Totally Italian,
Mm-hmm.
correct?
Yep.
Uh, I am so excited to have a conversation with another female business owner, somebody in the insurance space. Let's jump right into it because you are the owner of Uptown Marketing, which is an SEO and online digital marketing agency. So I want to chat. This is usually Michael's question, but I'm going to take it.
Take it.
Um, what led you into this space, especially this niche of insurance? How did you get here?
People always ask me that. I just had a girl shadowing with us today, and she was like, "So why insurance agents only?" My dad worked for State Farm. I used to go to take your daughter to work day with him, and when I got out of college, or when I left for college, and I wanted like a summer job I could kind of go back and forth with. I really wanted an office job. So I asked my dad, one of his good friends was an agent. And I was like, can you get me a job? And he was like, no, go get yourself a job. Here's his phone number. So I called him and I was like, do you need any help? Like, I'll come work for you. And he was like, sure. You want to come work here? So I worked for an agent for 5 years, in and out of college, a little bit after college. And I just really like learned the business. And because I had grown up around insurance so much, it was just like kind of a second language to me. And then from there, I went to school for marketing and really wanted to be in marketing, and I went to work for a marketing company. And once I got there, I was like, well, wait a minute, I know a lot about these insurance agencies, so why don't I kind of work with a lot of insurance agents and duplicate and really put on steroids some of the stuff that I had been doing for that agent as far as digital marketing. And then it just snowballed from there.
So how long have you been in business?
So I have been in the industry for like 12 years, but Uptown Marketing is going to be 4 years old in March.
Nice.
Yay!
Okay.
Congrats.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's super exciting. So what are you seeing? What are you seeing from a trend standpoint right now within the SEO space, the paid ad space, things of that nature?
I think one thing that I'm sure anyone else in the space would agree is that Google is like just boom, boom, boom with the changes lately. They're really trying to provide such a streamlined experience with like your Google My Business is now your Google Business Profile. You manage it right on Maps. Whereas when I started doing this, it was Google Plus. Google My Business didn't even exist. You had a Google Plus page, which was supposed to be like Google's version of Facebook. That never panned out. They had the business Google Plus pages. Then that became Google Places and Google My Business. So it's just come such a long way. And it's like almost the business pages are almost just one with the search engine now. So it's just really interesting to see how far it's streamlined into the search engine. And I think that one of the things that we're seeing more and more on Google when we do searches, if we're looking for a recipe, if we're looking for a translation of something, whatever it is, they're trying to keep you on Google. They don't want you going to the sites. They're trying to show you your result right there on Google. And I think that with business profiles, it's going to continue in that direction where we're going to be able to take as much action and learn as much information from Google, so we never even have to leave there to find our answer or whatever it is we're looking for. So that, as far as SEO, I would say is just the constant changes, the fact that Google's really streamlining everything and trying to keep us on Google instead of going to the websites. In the ad space, I think it's kind of a tricky time in ads for a few reasons. One is that COVID made digital marketing fast forward 5 years into the future of where it should have been. So there's more businesses doing digital marketing. And as you guys know, when you're doing any type of marketing, when you're marketing an insurance agent, there's only so many people in any market searching for insurance online at any given time. So the more agents that are doing paid ads, the less there is to go around, right? So when I started doing paid ads, because when I started doing this, we didn't do paid ads at all. We just did SEO and then got into the paid ad space. When we first started doing paid ads, you had maybe 10 to 20% of agents in a market that were engaged in it and participating in it. And so it was great, right? Everybody, got really cost-effective leads. There was a ton coming in for whoever that agent was. Well, now everybody's doing it. The more people that are doing it, there's less to go around. It's more expensive to get the same or really less of a result. So it's tough because a lot of agents want to go and look at, well, what did I do last year? And we should be doing better than last year. Well, you're not going to be doing better than last year in this space. You're really going to progressively be doing, you'll be lucky if you do the same as you did last year in this space now, because it's just year over year getting more saturated, more competitive, more expensive. And it's just overall has become a very complicated landscape compared to where it was.
Yep. No, and that actually makes a lot of sense. Like obviously we work with a ton of insurance professionals, and I always tell them, because they ask questions about, like, especially the paid ad space. Mm-hmm. And it's like every market area, and you can hit on this maybe a little bit more, but I feel like every market area, I could talk to an agent in Florida, I could talk to an agent in Missouri, I could talk to an agent in California, and the paid ad space is just, in my opinion, much different in the market areas that you're in. And so I'd love for you to talk a little bit about that, because agents ask me, well, should I do it? Should I not do it? Well, yeah, you should try it, but you also need to track it. And if it's not working, really go all in on the SEO side of things, because that's organic versus trying to compete with other people that are paying for the ad space.
I think the reason people really hang on to the paid ads so much is because they're probably the most tangible, right? You can pay, you know what you're getting, you see the .com leads in a little bit more instantly, but it's tough because it is so much more complex, and it does vary so much market to market, right? Like I could have 2 back-to-back calls and somebody may have gotten 150 .com leads for a certain spend and they're super happy. And then in a different market across the country, somebody's got 40 and they're super pumped too. It's just all across the board. And that is really a huge reason why it's beneficial to not work with a corporate vendor who's got kind of a cookie cutter style for everybody, because you really have to have somebody that knows and has the capacity to be looking at you individually and saying, okay, you're in Huntington, West Virginia. How are you different? And what do I need to do differently than I need to do for my guy in Queens, right? It's night and day. So that is extremely, extremely relevant to your successes, whether or not you're working with somebody that is really individualizing your market. And like you said, there's some markets where I will tell people, don't do paid ads. It's not an effective use of your money. You guys all wrote business before Google ads, and you're going to write business without them too. You just have to figure out other ways to do it. I think that because they're like a hot topic lately, so that it's something people want to rely on, and they hear, well, my friend over here does this many leads and he's 2 states away and he spends this amount of money and gets this amount of leads. And it's like, that's great. It doesn't mean you're going to be able to do that. So it's tough because there's so much chatter around it, and there's not a lot of companies that will give it to you straight and say, this is not reality for you. So I think that's where it gets really just hard, but you have to manage, as an agent, you have to really manage your expectations with your business and your market.
Yep. I love that. And I love that you're bringing up the cookie cutter stuff. That's you're hitting that on the head. You really are. So, and I don't want to stick in, and this entire call is not going to be just about SEO and paid ads, but I would love your opinion on, hey, if an agent's out there trying to do this themselves, especially from maybe not the paid ads, that gets a little confusing, but from an SEO standpoint, what are some things that he or she need to be doing on a daily, weekly, monthly basis to really help that organic reach to reach in their community to start showing up more frequently?
So I think a common misconception is that if you have lots of Google reviews, you will show up all over the first page of Google. It's not enough. So those are important, absolutely. But something else that's really valuable to SEO, and if we're talking about certain captive agents that are reliant on their company to create their website, meaning if you're an agent listening to this that has no control of your website, there's things that you can do with the content on your website that will help, but because you're not able to code the back end of your website, what you really need to make sure that you have is relevant backlinks all across the internet, and you have really consistent, relevant, accurate business listing information all across the internet, right? So not just, your website and your Google listing, but what does your Yahoo listing look like? What does your Bing listing look like? What does your YP.com listing look like? Even though a lot of these, some of the more obscure directories, maybe we wouldn't go on and search for an insurance agent, of course. But when Google checks the authority and the credibility of a business and a website, one of the biggest things they do is they check the whole internet and say, all right, who else knows about this business? Does this site know they sell insurance in this area? Does this site? And the more consistent, accurate information they see, the more places they see the website listed on other credible, relevant websites, the higher your authority and your rank is going to be online. So if you're an agent trying to do this yourself, you better buckle up and you better plan on going out and searching and doing some manually claiming business directories. You're probably gonna have to pull out your credit card and pay a couple of these directories for a claimed listing, but really making sure that you're combing all of the internet. You're never gonna comb all the internet, but combing a lot of the major important sites to make sure that your business is linked and your website is linked in enough places in the right way. And your reviews are important too.
Yeah, no, and I love that you're touching base on that. And I mean, look, this is one of those things that I highly recommend delegating.
I was getting ready to say the exact same thing. Delegate this out. This is not this. You're an insurance professional. Like, you are not a digital marketer. You are not like, this is a no brainer when I'm listening to you, because I'm even like, as an online marketing girl, I'm going, huh? What are you saying here? So
yeah, it's tough, and I've been in this space for 12 years, so obviously I've had to learn a lot of this. When I first started this, I don't know anything that I know now, you know what I mean? But you think because you use the internet, you know what you should do, and so often I'll talk to an agent and they're like, oh, well, one of my team members posts on social media for me, like, my online presence is covered, and it's like, whoa, no, it's not. Like, no, it's not. There's just so much to the science of who shows up and why they show up and how long are they going to show up for. Maybe you show up, but your reviews look terrible and you have no pictures. So where's your conversion going to be at? It's very, very comprehensive if you want a strong presence, especially organically.
I love that you bring up conversion, because I always say that, like, content is queen, but conversion is king. Like, that's what you're actually going for. So you brought up social media. Talk a little bit about the relationship that's between social media and really creating that online presence, how they communicate, how Google and your social media communicate, and maybe some mistakes that you see insurance agents and professionals making.
Easy. Okay. So I think, just like kind of general perspective, what I've been trying to frame this as, traditionally, years and years ago, before the internet, you had your office, right? And people could walk into your office, maybe they'd see it in the phone book, but that was your home base. Now we have a lot of different places that a customer might land online. They might land on your Facebook page. They might land on your Yelp page. And if you start to think about every single place a customer might land to contact you as a piece of digital real estate or a piece of your office online, you start to take a lot more pride in your online presence, because you realize, okay, if I look at this the same way I look at my office in this plaza, right? I have to have my sign up. I have to have my team dressed properly. I've got to paint the walls. You would do the same exact thing with your online presence, right? You wouldn't want your Yelp to look horrible. You wouldn't, you want to make sure your reviews are intact. So really taking pride in your online presence. And it's tougher for the generation that came before the internet, where they just don't see as much importance in it because they're so old school, which is great because they've been able to build these amazing books of business without any of that. But it's even more cool because it's like, well, now what could you do with that? But it's hard to just reframe the thinking around, I don't like Yelp. I don't want to deal with Yelp. I hate them. Well, of course you hate them, but if a potential customer is looking for insurance and they come across your Yelp page and your Yelp page looks terrible, like they're not going to go with your office. So you're losing a customer.
Okay, we're back. We had slight technical difficulties. We have changed platforms, and we were talking about mistakes that you see insurance professionals make. But I also have a question, since we have changed platforms. What is a platform that insurance professionals should spend most of their time on?
Their own sales systems and their own customer systems and working their own stuff, and let somebody else handle that. If I'm giving you this answer the way you really want it, most of your time, I would say, I think one of the biggest mistakes that agents make when it comes to social media specifically is relying on posting. And I'll tell you why. So your business posts are shown a lot less often than your personal posts, right? So if I post something from Uptown Marketing, 10%, something under that even, of the Uptown Marketing followers are even going to see it. So even people that subscribe to see Uptown Marketing updates, only 10% of those people are going to see something if I post it. So why would I spend all this time and energy and resources and hire people to do posts for such a small audience? That's number one. Number two, of that audience, these are people that already know who you are, right? If you like Uptown Marketing, you're a current customer, you are a friend of mine, a family member, you're somebody that already knows of Uptown Marketing. And if you were going to do business, you probably already would, right? So to be investing your time, your resources, your team's time and resources into strictly posting on social media is such a misconception that it's valuable or important. It's important to keep a presence, because I was just saying, like, your Facebook is a big piece of your digital real estate. You can't have no. The solution to that would be to get into paid stuff on Facebook and really reaching an audience that doesn't already know you.
Mm-hmm. So I think this is all valuable information. Again, we're driving home the point of, and we're big believers in this, do what you can do, like stick to your zone of genius and delegate as much out as you can that is in line with your financial goals and the goals that you have for the growth of your organization. But as a female business owner and as a business owner, especially in the digital space, I want to hear kind of some struggles that you've had to overcome in building this business, because you have a thriving, successful business, and it's all women, right, that work in your agency. Did you do that intentionally, or is that just how it happened?
It's kind of how it happened. So I had a couple guys along the way, and I am not somebody that's like, men are the worst. I think men are so valuable. They have absolutely no attention to detail. They just don't get what we do, right? And listen, I'm sure there's other employees at other marketing companies that do a great job. I personally have very, very high standards when it comes to communication, both within our team and with our clients, and with attention to detail, right? I'm neurotic about spelling, capitalization, stuff like that. Men are not good with that. And over time, a couple trial and errors, we've realized we really are at our best when we are all women. And it's just, I think, a lot of strengths that come with women are strengths that are really valuable to our specific business. So that's how it happened that way. We do have a guy intern that's coming in. So he's probably going to get scared and leave after a couple weeks, but we'll see. But in general, my biggest struggles with, I could talk all day about my struggles with this business. So I never planned to start a business. I was not ever somebody that wanted to be an entrepreneur, wanted to own a business. I got mad at my boss and I quit the same day and started the business the same day. And I had no planning. There was just absolutely no thought behind it, no plan going into it. And I'm just somebody that can land on my feet, right? I trust my intuition. I know if I do something, I'm going to make it work. I think what I failed to really realized going into that, or maybe just, underestimated, was how much I love a pat on the head and like a good job, you know? And I was coming from somewhere where I was the top salesperson where I was. So every single day a sales report would go out, and it was every single morning, the whole company was reminded that I was the best one there. Right. So every morning I woke up and my ego was like, yup, let's go. Right. When you own the business, no one's patting you on the head. They're telling you with problems. I'm like, are any of you ever gonna like tell me I'm doing a good job? So I'm not kidding. I really struggle with that. And like
Yeah.
I'm like, you guys, I'm just a very ego motivated person, right? I'm not money motivated, I'm not time off, I'm ego. Like I need to be told I'm doing a good job. And when you own the business, people come to you with problems or they need help, and it's that's it. So that was really an adjustment for me, going from the top salesperson to now I'm steering this ship that I really had no intention to even get on, but I'm on it and people are on it with me. So I got to get where we're going. So that I think was really a big adjustment. And I think it kind of ties together, but I'm a really strong salesperson and I'm a really strong like client relationship person. That was like my thing. And I always say this and it's so cocky, but I feel like if they took Michael Jordan off the court and made him coach the team sometimes, because I think that he would get very frustrated and be like, just do it the way that I do it. Just this comes so natural to me. Why don't you guys do it like I would do it? So it's been an adjustment for me to learn to coach and lead on something that just comes very naturally to me. And I never really, I'm not somebody that takes a lot of I don't really like training. I don't like training. I don't like development. I just want to go out and do my thing, and I want everybody to go out and do their thing, but that's not my reality anymore. So that's something that I've really personally struggled with. So I think that those are really the biggest struggles for me business wise have been me personally. I'm the problem.
Hi, it's me. I'm the problem. It's me.
Exactly.
No, I think that that's what you're speaking to is a lot of business owners. I mean, that's the reason why we have a business, is because of that aspect right there of the training and the day to day. So what does your structure look like now? So you're the CEO and the owner. Do you have like, walk me through kind of what the structure looks like?
So I have a sales side and an operations side, and I have a VP of business development. So she manages the whole sales team and business development team. And then I have a VP of operations that manages the whole operation. So really those two, it's my sister and my cousin. So I trust them with my life. They have the same exact crazy high standards that I do because we were all raised by crazy Italian parents. And I just trust them with my life. So that's brought me a lot of relief to know that like, okay, I don't need to do quite as much management in the way that I don't like, because they're there for that. Not only that, but our team is really self-sufficient. They're not really girls that require a lot of management anyways. So yeah, we have two marketing consultants and then there's support underneath them. So I kind of had a big change in the springtime of this year. It was really the first time I had anybody leave the team, but I lost 3 girls in one day and they all went to work for the same person. So that was a huge shift for me emotionally, professionally. It was a lot for me. And when I made the shift, I really thought about, and I'm so lucky that I've had a lot of these like really successful agents be my clients for so long, because I lean on them when I struggle in my business. They've known me before I started the business. And one of them told me when I was going through all of this, he's like, now's your time to really sit down and take inventory of what do you like doing in your business and what do you not like doing. So one of the things I did is I obviously had to take over a lot of client management in that time. And I said, as we hired new team and rebuilt it back up, I said to myself, I'm keeping some clients to myself. One thing that brings me a lot of joy is talking to my clients and doing the monthly meetings with them and just kind of staying more on the pulse of what's happening day to day within the company and what do I need to know to best run this business. So that has really, really helped me a lot. So I still keep a small number of clients. Carla, the VP of Business Development, kind of same thing. She has kept some clients. And then we have Diane and Elena, who have both been in the space a very long time. They have clients. Sierra starting to take some clients. And then we have a lot of support behind that. And then something new that we started doing in August is the branded merchandise. So we have a girl that handles that entire side of the business as well.
Yeah, you better get excited because there's some stuff that's coming your way.
It just got shipped out today.
Yes, some stuff comes.
No, and this is so, and sometimes it's a addition by subtraction, I guess you could say.
Where people you think that they're there for one reason, or they're going to be there for a long time, and then it feels like the rug gets pulled out from under you, and you're like, "What the hell just happened?"
Yeah, this specific situation I think was a little unique for a lot of reasons, but I'm somebody that tries to take a lot of accountability. I don't look at it as those people were taken from me. I lost those people, right? I wasn't providing them with something, or they wouldn't have gone anywhere else, right? So I really tried to look at, okay, where do I need to make changes here to make sure that it doesn't happen again, at least in that same way. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the whole deck, not the whole deck, but a good amount, at that point it was 3 was a lot for me then. So yeah, it's people told me, some of the agents that I would talk to about this said, this is going to be the best thing that ever happened to your business, watch. And it has been by far. I wish it happened to me sooner, because it's just brought, first of all, it's brought such a better, stronger team. It's brought a bigger team. And it's just brought me a lot of lessons I think I needed to learn as the business owner, for sure.
Yep.
I love that you share that, because there are a lot of people listening right now who are in the situation that you're in, or have had that happen, and hearing just confirmation that this will work in your favor, even if it feels like shit right now, that's everything.
Well, it's kind of like things always work for you, not to you. Like, it's that abundance mindset of things are going to happen. You just got to work and learn from it, which is what I love. Like, not only did you take accountability, but and we can relate to this because we had something very similar happen about 18 months ago. And it's like, what do you have to, like, what is the lesson here?
Yeah.
What can I learn from this to help me be a better business owner in the future and leader for my team?
And just for the purpose of like being relatable to anyone listening, like, I don't want anyone to think that I just woke up and was like, it's going to be a new day. Everything's right. I was miserable, crying, hysterical. Like, I was a train wreck. So like, if you are going through that and you're like, oh, it's just the worst. And it takes a second to like get yourself back up and be like, okay, I got this. We're going to be fine. But yeah, like, it is not easy at first.
No, it sucks. Like, I was actually in a kind of like a depressed state for probably,
that's not a kind of, it was there.
Yeah, it was bad. Probably for 6 months, honestly. Like, now again, you being the leader and owner, maybe everyone else doesn't know that, and you're working through it, you're trying to make it happen. But yeah, like, when shit really hits the fan, like, it sucks, both not from a business standpoint, but personally, like, it's just it's weird.
Friends. And Martina, I want to hear kind of what steps you took to get out of that, and then what steps you started implementing within your business.
One of the biggest changes that we made was, and this kind of all worked out because we were all remote before this happened. So everybody was working from home. I had actually just moved back to Rochester probably 6 months before this all happened. So I was like, you know what, enough of this working remote. Because I think a lot of what was happening is, when we're working remote, I don't have a pulse on your mood, your day, how your conversation went with a client. If you're stressed out, like, I have no idea what's happening unless you come to me and say, hey, I'm stressed out. Can you talk me through something? So I was really like, I'm done with this remote. We're all going to be in the office. If something is stressing you out, I'm going to know about it. You're going to be able to come to me. So that, I think, was a massive change in the business, all being back together in person in the office. Another thing is trying to let go of a little bit of control. And this kind of also worked out, is that my sister Carla came in right before this all happened. And she's my big sister. So she naturally comes in and takes charge always. And I was able, because she was there, to be a little less neurotic with who we're hiring, who we're interviewing. And I had only, before this, had only hired people I knew, only close friends, people that were in. And Carla came in and she was like, I have these girls from Indeed. I'm going to interview them. I was like, you don't understand. We're not going to be able to trust them. But these girls are amazing. I wish I had 20 of them. Like, just letting go of some of, because you guys are probably the same way. I know best all the time, right? I know best all the time, but letting go of that and saying, all right, let me trust the people that I put in place to do their job and let me do my job, which is, pick up the pieces in the meantime, was, I think, a big thing. So yeah, those two things, just hiring, getting people together, and really being in person lets me set the tone for the day. You know what I mean? I'm really kind of like, I was a cheerleader, but I just have a cheerleader personality. So being able to go in the office, and somebody might come in the worst mood ever, but like, I'm not going to let you stay in a bad mood. Like, we're going to laugh today. We're going to have fun. Like, it gives me an opportunity to like have a pulse on everybody and make sure they're enjoying their job a little bit at least.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I love that. It's remote work definitely has its challenges. That's something we've still are navigating the waters through. And so it's, there's something about a workplace that is, it can be magical for sure. So how about your apparel line? Let's talk a little bit about that. Why?
Why did you add something else to digital market in the
not in my rock bottom, I was like, let me add a brand new product line I've never seen. Idea, right? So I know this girl we went to college together. We go to the same hairdresser, which is how I've hired people, by the way. Tip for everybody: go to your hairdresser, barber. But I knew this girl and she did our uptown merchandise. So anytime I had a new hire, I do like a basket for them, and they get like hoodies and t-shirts and like fun uptown marketing stuff, like tumblers, mouse pads, all that fun stuff. And I'm a girl, I love to shop, right? I love to create things and design things. So I loved that. And it was fun for me. And it's a fun way to market my brand and have branded apparel, right? We all need that as business owners. And after a while, I was like, wait a minute. All of my clients need this too, because all of their branded merchandise looks the exact same. Mm-hmm. It's the same as the digital marketing being the exact same. You don't want that. And really, the whole basis of our marketing business is setting yourself apart from all the other agents in your market. So why would you not carry that into other areas of the business? So she was looking for another opportunity. She's working for an eye doctor, and she is the most creative, talented, driven girl. And she was like so happy to come on board. So I was like, buckle up, we're going to do this. And I am somebody that sells first and figures it out later. And, she made it all happen really, really well. And now we're at a really good place where we do. So like what our process is now is usually agents will come to us with either their own logo that they've created, or they'll ask for logo design. So we do like either like just something simple with like their name on it, or we'll do like a full logo design for them. And then they put it on any apparel that they want. And what I love about what we're doing with it is it still is incorporating digital stuff to it. So we'll do like QR codes on the sleeve. So if your team is wearing these hoodies out at a community event, they've got the QR code right at their sleeve. So if they're talking to somebody, they don't need a business card anymore. They don't need to say, oh, go to .com, just here, scan my wrist. It's right there. So it's still incorporating that digital piece, but it's giving your brand your personality, which I am such a proponent of, is just really branding you and yourself and being true to who you are, instead of relying on one brand, one logo that everybody's sharing.
I freaking love this, because brand loyalty is at an all-time low. Like amongst consumers, brand loyalty, like most consumers really could care less about, because they're working with you. So as an insurance agent, insurance professional, business owner, how are you different from the other 8 guys down the street, or girls down the street? It doesn't matter. And so I love that you are helping. So I have a question. If someone wanted to contact you, do you only provide apparel services to folks that you work with in the digital space, or do you either or? Doesn't really matter?
Either or. So the other cool thing about this too is, so we do exclusivity with our digital marketing, right? We're not going to work with two agents in the same market. And that really doesn't limit us now, but at a certain point, there's a law of diminishing return with that because there's only so much territory. But no, there's no exclusivity on this because, you know, you ideally should have a different brand than the neighbor down the street from you. So yeah, there is, we're doing it for anybody, whether you're an Uptown client or not.
Okay.
I want to talk about vision because as the leader of the ship, you are responsible for casting vision amongst your team. So as we head into a new year, I want to hear kind of what your vision is for Uptown Marketing, what big goals you have, what that looks like.
You guys are gonna hate this answer, and I need to come up with a better answer. I am not somebody that vision casts. I don't set goals. I literally just barrel through. Like I just barrel through the walls, and like whatever happens, happens. And but if I sit and think on this for a second, right? Like ideally, what I do want to grow the brand and merchandise for sure. I was just meeting with Tatum earlier today, and our goal is to get, you know, a second person involved in that, and potentially a third person in the next year or two. So I definitely want to grow that side of it. And I think with that is going to come us getting a bigger space because she's doing all of our design in my office. Her and I basically share an office now, and we're definitely outgrowing that. And I think I want to continue to, something I always try to do when I think about vision casting is like, I'll give you an example. I know that Google ads are getting beat to the pavement right now. They're not doing what they used to do. So I'm constantly trying to identify what are other ways that we can continue to provide value online, that we can continue to get an agent to stand out online, drive leads online. So I think that that's really, when I think about vision casting, I don't really think about it from my business as much as I think about it for our clients, right? Like, where can I take our clients next? What can I do for them next? And then that kind of just carries the business.
Love that.
Yeah. And I think I'm so glad that you were honest and transparent because a lot of times as the leader, you put yourself in this category of like, I need to look a certain way. And the thing that you have said consistently throughout this whole interview is you take action. Like you just figure it out as you go. And so many people get caught up in how it should look that they never take action. And I think you're a true testament that success follows action. So regardless of if you beat down the wrong door, you're still moving. So the next door that's supposed to open is going to come. So I think that's great.
Yeah. And it's definitely posed challenges to me. And like, I'm not always successful. There was 2 years ago, I was like, you know what? Now that I have Uptown Marketing, I'm going to start Uptown Talent because everybody needs recruiting. And I did that for 3-4 months. I wouldn't do recruiting again if I was paid billions of dollars. I'm not kidding. Leave it to the other companies. I want nothing to do with it. So like that was a huge failure. Like, you know, not a huge failure, but that was a failure for me. It doesn't always hit, but yeah, I think you're totally right. Just not being afraid to take action. You're never going to get anywhere if you don't move your feet. You know what I mean? You can't ever get to where you want to go without taking that first step, and it's never going to be perfect. Had I waited to start a business until I had a business plan and had I didn't even have employees. I was in a non-compete with my old company. I didn't even know if I was going to be able to get out of that. I was like, well, I guess I'll call an attorney. it just, if you have the kind of like you were saying, the abundance mindset, if you have a mindset that this will work out, if I've always done the right thing for my clients, the right thing for my team. And I think that if you just always do the right thing for the people that you're working for and working with, as long as you keep that, you're going to be able to be successful because it kind of helps just push you in the right direction.
Yeah.
It's a boomerang.
As long as you continue to, which is what you're saying, like
integrity.
Concentrate on adding value to the customer. Like as long as you're always adding value to the customer, there's always going to be a place for you in the marketplace. So
yeah,
no, I love that. You hit on so many great things. So Martina, if somebody wanted to get a hold of you, reach out, connect with you, follow you, what's the easiest way for them to do that?
my cell phone is our main business number, and I will answer it anytime, day or night. So that's right on our website. Our website is uptownmarketing.com. My information's all on there. There's like the Calendly links on there. My email is just martina@uptownmarketing.com. So pretty straightforward. But yeah, my social media, you can find me. I'm pretty connected at all times. I never really disconnect. So yeah.
Okay. Well, Martina, thank you. This has been great.
Fun. But you
I
can't
know.
if you were watching the video, you could see Martina and I have a low bun. It is the day before Thanksgiving. We are living our best life. This has been, yeah, I'm so glad we had this conversation.
I'll have to get the memo next time. Maybe I can.
You
Yeah.
man bun.
Do it.
All right. Well, Martina, thank you for all of those that are listening. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you give us a 5-star review, share it with your peers. And as always, time is the most valuable and important asset that we all have. Appreciate you all. Martina, thank you again.
Bye.
All right. Go out and make it great, my friends.